So we are going to do a reflection process. It's our last opportunity to reflect. Yes, you might be reflecting a little on your trip home, but then you know what? It'll be Monday and you will be back in your school. And so then it's very hard to do that. And we don't get enough times to do that. So we're going to go through that little process. And then when it's ending, then each of us will have a chance to say our final words to you, to say goodbye. And then at the very end, we are going to practice the whole song. And then we are going to divide up into 3 groups, and we are going to create the cantata of the song, which will be very beautiful, I'm sure. So this is a wonderful reflective process that you can also take home with you to your school, so that when you have been working with your teachers and you want them to integrate what you've been discussing, you can use this process. It's very, very simple. So the process I would like to ask you if you would get out your journal or something to write on, if it's possible. And on your paper, if you would write a triangle, a square, a circle, and some steps, a staircase. And so with the triangle, use that space to consider what insights you are taking home with you. And with the square, there's an expression in English, it squares with me. What it means is, I agree with that. It agrees with me. So what squares with you? And with the circle, you ask, what is still circling in my mind? I'm not there yet. I'm still thinking about it. What is still circling in my mind? And then with the staircase, what first step will I take when I get back? Just one first step. On the airplane, you can write 10 steps. But just for now, one step. So that is your reflection homework to do now. So I'm asking for quiet and an opportunity for you to just go into yourself and do this little bit of work right now. You can stop. Now you know the process, so you can use it. Actually, you could use this with the parent gathering as well. It's very effective and helpful to reflect and integrate. So let's just go to the insights. We don't have time to work through all of your consciousness, but I would like to ask you if there are some people who wouldn't mind coming up to volunteer to speak up here and just share an insight that they have that they're taking back with them.
I just had this insight in my group just a few minutes ago, that no matter how long we've been in this work, we're still all at the beginning. And that's because every day is a new day for Jordan.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
My insight is everything is possible if we connect.
Oh, that's beautiful. Everything is possible if we connect. Yes, please come.
Thank you. So this may sound a bit cheesy, but it was an insight. And I thought to myself that it's not about keeping the child's spirit alive, but it's maybe about never putting out the flame of being naturally and profoundly human throughout the continuum of life. Joyful, meaningful, creative, and loving. And that makes me happy today to be a human being. So thank you, because in the world we're living right now.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Yes, please come up.
You hold this and speak into it.
Okay, I have a very powerful insight during the assigned group with Sue, when Sue was telling her story. And I just really realized that I have a very powerful part of my story. Do you have like a little couple of minutes? Can I tell that? So when I was little, about 5 years old, I would go out to the room. I would just leave my apartment building. I would look around and I would look for mummies with prams. I would go find them. I will join them. I will be just walking past, like next to them for a while. And my goal is, as a 5-year-old, just that they will let me push their prams. That was my biggest joy. And almost 40 years later, this is what I do still. I build trust with moms, like with parents, and they let me nurture their children, This is what I think we do as Montessorians, is we tend in this light in children, because if you would think about your childhood, the child would always know what is the source of joy for them. And this is what we do, I think, as Montessorians, that we tend this light in children, that they would always stay connected with the source of their joy, and then we will just bring it with them to adulthood as well. So I think it's really powerful. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes. Someone else? Yes, come.
For me, it's been about finding the base where the nourishment meets the growth. In my personal life, for every single one of the children in my care, and for the school I work for my community.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's keep going. Another.
I'm sorry for my English, but for me it's really interesting how many people are interested about international relationships, about cooperating together, and really thank you that someone organized this and that you exist, and we are not alone in our countries, and we are here together. That's it.
Very good. Okay. Yes. Could we have one more?
I am here with you only 2 days, but in these 2 days, you created in me the feeling of belonging to a big, great, wonderful family. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay. So when I do this exercise, I just take a flip chart and I just draw those objects, and then I put everybody through the process of doing their own work and then sharing what they have. And it works very beautifully. So you can take it home, and as well as it's helped you to reflect and process your work. So now we are going to...
We've got a lot more time.
Yes.
If you want to debrief each of them.
You want to debrief each of them? Okay, we can go through them then, okay? Peter says keep going.
Yeah.
All right, what squares with you? What do you agree with? What squares with you?
Maybe explain that a bit.
Yes, okay. So the expression in English means that it's something that when you heard it, it was like, yes. That's the case. Yes, come on up.
Hi. So in my country, there are absolutely no Montessori schools. And to see that people at the beginning resist Montessori schools and then kind of sort of all flock in at the end of the day because this is what resonates and this is what makes sense. I was really scared at the beginning because I'm opening a completely new concept to a lot of people who are very traditional in their thinking. And when I heard all of everyone's stories that, yes, I started with 5 children, but look, I have 100 students a year, like 5 years later or whatever, to me that was like, yes, I can do it. It will happen.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We send you our love and best wishes for building the first Montessori school in Beirut. It's really wonderful. Yes. Anyone else? What squares with you? When did you say yes? Yes. So you hold this?
Horrible thing again.
Yes, horrible thing, and then that.
Yeah, what worked for me really, in the moment that I felt, yes, I'm in the right place, was to know that we really are taking Montessori on board, not only for the children, but for us, for ourselves, and that we want to empower everybody that is in our school with us, all the adults, and that everybody is being looked after, not only the children.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, so let's move to what is still circling in your mind? What are you still thinking about? You can be vulnerable and come up and do this. Yes.
I'm thinking about your stories a lot. When I was about to give birth to my 2 daughters, I read a lot of birth stories. Every story was different, so different. So I came to the point that, okay, mine will be different too, which kept me calm, maybe more calm. And I have to say that I was so surprised that with Montessori school's birth is the same. I was so surprised and so deeply touched when I heard your stories, the beginnings of your schools, and how it all became real, that I somehow I'm in a big expectation and big hope and big trust that mine gonna work too. I'm at the very beginning, prenatal yet. Yeah. 2 meetings. So please keep your fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't hold both of them.
That's okay. You did fine. You did just fine. Okay. Oh, I don't know why that happens.
So, Sue's metaphor of the bonsai, I can't get it out of my head. I'm dreaming about it. I'm thinking about it. And that's because all my life since I was a child, I've been a person that fixes things. And then as a head of school, I was the one who fixed the toilets, who fixed everything. I tried to fix every relationship. I tried to fix every person. And gradually it became apparent to me that I couldn't, but I always carried this little bit of guilt that I ought to be able to. Anybody else feel that way? Yeah, if I was only better, stronger, smarter, more emotionally complete. And so I'm going to be using that image of the bonsai, and that you don't fix it. That's not what your relationship is about. It's about discovering where the bonsai is trending and kind of supporting that or getting things out of the way. So thank you, Sue.
Wonderful. Yes. Another person. What's circling in your mind?
There are a lot of things that I've heard, that I've listened to you say, that I admire that you're all doing, and I would like to do those things too. I know I'm in the right place. I know that I spent the weekend away from my husband and my children, but I feel like it was time so well spent with you, because this all makes so much sense to me, and I wish that it was just how we lived, and I wouldn't have to figure it out. But yeah, time and how to make it work, and to still be patient with myself.
What first step will you take when you get home? What will it be? Yes, Nina.
One of the first steps is that I will learn more names, because I don't work in a school, but I work in the Norwegian Montessori Association, and I speak to a lot of people in every school and kindergarten in Norway, and I'm not very good at remembering all the names. And that's something, the small things, and to be present and close, that's really to be able to say hi and the name instead of just hi. That's really something I will take home. And also to bring chocolate and good food and all the small things to all the occasions and all the events that we arrange, to make it really all the small details. Yeah.
It's a wonderful goal. Okay, who else? First step.
I will go through my notes and maybe through PowerPoints, which I hope Mirko will send us as soon as possible. And I want to...
Yes.
Yeah. And you see 160 pairs of eyes waiting PowerPoints. So good. And I want to share my experience with my team, and it's very important that they also not hear for this information, but at least what touches me and what I want to share to my school. Yeah,
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you. Yes, that's a wonderful goal. Okay, another person. Your next step. You all have them. Okay.
Hello. I would like start with telling stories from this time, because it's the great way then give information and without feelings and
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. To be a good storyteller. I think that storytelling is coming back into the world. It was lost in civilization. And we're finding that it's so important to be able to hear each other's stories and to learn from them. And that's the best way to connect. That's how we're human. And to cry. Even our translators were crying today. Okay.
She's already crying. Keep talking. She's already crying.
I'll say something else.
Okay.
My first step is going to be self-care, because all my life that's been my last step.
Okay, so we are now going to give our parting words to you and say goodbye, and that's difficult. We have fallen in love with each other. And now we have each other. And so This is historic. This is the first time in history that Montessori school leaders around the world have gathered together. Think of that, since Montessori began. Okay, so Peter, I think you're the first.
Oh, great. Wow. I want to say thank you to the translators. And at the end of the first day, they had to come to me and say, could you just turn a little bit or remain still a little bit so we can kind of read your lips? So I appreciate that too. And I'm not going to steal the thunder, but we got to thank Mirka over and over and over again. Next, I'm going to share a secret that I shared with my group a few minutes ago, that I retired on July 1st, and on my last day at my desk at Montessori in Redlands, I said, oh, thank God nobody ever caught me or figured out that I was flying by the seat of my pants and I had no idea what I was doing for 45 years. So, do you sometimes feel like that? You know, like we're making it up as we go along. And I always thought someday somebody was going to come in and rip my name badge off and say, you're a fraud, you've been discovered. And that's because we all ask the impossible of ourselves, and none of us have become Buddhas yet. We're still working on it. Second thing is also a true confession. So in my spare time, I don't read books on leadership like these two ladies do. I want to get as far away from leadership as possibly I can. So I read science fiction and fantasy. But there's one fantasy series that I have read, and in this world, which very closely parallels Earth and Earth's history, there used to be magic everywhere. And then sort of the Romans came, or a Roman-like people, and sort of the mechanical view of the universe, and wars and acts of cruelty, and the magic started disappearing everywhere. But here's the hope. Every time somebody does an act of human kindness, does a really good thing, takes care of a plant, takes care of a child, it brings a little more magic back into the world. Isn't that a nice thought?
Yeah.
So every day let's go out and bring more magic to the world. That was my third thought, maybe? And my final thought was, Maria Montessori is famous for saying that children are the future and the light and the hope for the world. But I gotta say, this weekend, as I look out at you guys are also the future and the light and the hope of the world, and don't forget it. So I salute you.
I guess we can all do this, right? I know when you feel this feeling, you just can't say goodbye. That's the hard part. So I wanted to share, because I always think, I guess I'm the pedagogue. I always have to read Montessori books and try to keep looking and finding. And as I was talking and thinking about the work this weekend, I kept trying to think about where in Montessori's work does she really talk about that development of the self. And I know there's all types of references to observation, but I thought, where does it talk about self-observation and reflection? And I couldn't find it, and I wrote to Ginny Sackett. And do you all know Ginny? She's in Amsterdam now, but she's an AMI trainer, and she knows all the books, like memorizes them practically. And she said, I don't know. I maybe, and then she gave me 3 references in Montessori, and go look for it. But I kept looking, and I found it. So I want to read it to you. It'll take me just a second. I have to pull it up. It's in The Secret of Childhood. I'll tell you in just a minute. I think chapter 22, depending on the version. We insist on the fact that a teacher must prepare himself or herself interiorly by systematically studying himself so that he can tear out his most deeply rooted defects. Whoops. Well, I'll keep moving, it gets better. Those, in fact, which impede his relations with children. In order to discover these subconscious failings, we have need of a special kind of instruction. We must see ourselves as others see us. Maria Montessori. The notion that we have to look inward and then have to see each other is such a message to all of us. And I want you to know how privileged I feel to work with Kathy and Peter. I've known them forever, and we've worked intermittently with each other and done so many things together, but this was a birth. The way we worked together with Mirka and shared our ideas and our skills, and perhaps the things that we did well or not so well, has been truly a work of art. So I bless you for all coming. And when we were frightened when you went from a group of 75 to a group of 100, and then it got to 125, and then Mirka stopped telling us what the number was. And we were thinking, well, we're going to have breakout groups of 20 people, and well, maybe it might be 30 or 40. So, but we did it, didn't we? And we found a way to connect because of what we would call just the symbiosis of all of us. I love to know that Maria Montessori said, in our observation of ourselves and the reflection, that we do this work better. I do this work better because of the 75 people I work with every day. They're the most beautiful people. They help me grow, even my senior moments in this work. And they really help me to see the future. I see the future through them, and I see the future through you. I'm so lucky to still be in a school environment and to see those children every day, to be able to see the light in their eyes when they discover the chocolate in my office when they're not supposed to be. I really have seen the cycles of growth in a school. I've seen them many times. When I talk to my board of directors, and of course every few years it's new, and I just have to smile when they start saying the same old ideas that they're going to try again for about the 8th time in my history at the school, because things cycle. But some things, they are always Mirai. They're always just out of reach and always evolving. And I know that this group is Mirai. If I have the good fortune of helping a good friend to start a school in my grandchildren's town where there is not a Montessori school for them, I will call it Montessori Mirai. Thank you.
I don't have a prepared speech. I realized that from the time I was very young as a child that gathering people together meant a lot to me. And I have a memory of my father. We lived in the country, and my father building me a tent, you know, to be outside. You could sleep in it, a teepee tent. And I gathered the children in the area together and made a campfire and put them all around it. We were pretending, of course, but I didn't really have a fire, but we had made this place, and I had gathered all the children around me. And I think I was probably 8 years old. And I had some crackers and some red juice that I had served to each person. And my mother came out to see how we were doing, and she said, "Oh, what are you eating?" And I said, "We're having buffalo blood and meat." And so we were imagining this this community. It just dawned on me that that's my first recollection of needing to bring people together. And so in my whole life of working in schools, that's been my main effort, is not only with the children, how they are doing as a community, but also how we were doing as adults as a community. That's what's so deep inside me. And so it has been a great privilege to come to you and to share some of the work that I know about and to bring this community together in this way. We are all better together. We need each other. This is the most important work in the world. And so I am so proud of you that you took the time to bring yourself here. I know it was great effort and great expense. So thank you so much for being a part of a whole new wave of the future so that our world can be better. And thank you to our wonderful translators and to our wonderful team. It's been a great privilege, and I thank you.
Okay, I will make it. I know.
Right here
behind
you, okay.
I will.
Do you want to put this down?
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I just am so entirely thankful. So I will use this time to thank everyone that needs to be thanked. So first of all, let's one more time give a clap to our translators. Namely, thank you Barbara, thank you Mirka, and thank you Lucka. To some people who are here, it makes a world of a difference that you have helped us, so it's really great. Thank you. I also want to thank our streaming team. Thank you, Slide. We are living in the world of 21st century, and although we pretty much in this group agree that it's not possible to maybe train Montessori online, there are things which can be done online, and this sharing is one of them. And just at the end of today's morning session, somebody wrote on Facebook, "Thank you for allowing me to be with you online, and I want to be part of the adolescent work group," which was... So we have people from outside who now are calling that they want to also help with the work. So what else could we have wished for, right? So thank you for making this possible. Slide. Next, in order of appearance, Vojto, thank you for your wonderful photos. And for your joyful spirit too, because it makes it special that you're here with us. Lukáš, I am so happy you are here. Lukáš, the savior of all the technical troubles. So thanks a lot for saving us some more sweat that we have already had. And then Zuzka Kašparová, sitting next to Lukáš, represents the whole Montessori Institute team. They made the visit at the Institute possible. It's Hanka sitting in the front row and Misha also sitting in the front row, and some other people. So thank you for the coordination. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. So thank you for being there for me and for us all in that. Where's my box of Kleenex? Thank you. Thank you. And this is going to be... So yeah. Can I ask you who were at the Congress to stand up, please? We were wondering. Sonia, now here's the answer to your question. She really wanted to know how many of you have come back, so there. Thank you. She's the person who organized the International Montessori Congress last year, and she's the person who has done this all for you, and she is looking forward to doing the next one too, so. Another very special person, I hope she's in the room, I can't see her, Zuzka Valkovičová, are you here? Okay. Zuzka has been with our team for only 3 months, but those were the 3 months in which we communicated this event, so she's actually the person who made it possible for you to come, because she allowed you to know that we're doing this. So, thank you to Zuzka. Thank you. And now, would you please stand, because they want to see you. It's one of the last times that they have a chance to look at your faces. Please stand. Thank you.
Let's get you up on a chair.
Thank you so much.
I think I see Czech beer in here.
Yes. I was going to just explain what's inside. And so ladies get a pink bag, and Peter has a blue one as a boy. It's a baby boy.
And I get a shirt.
And it has inside, because they were not able to go basically almost at all out of this hotel for all the work they have done with us. So there's a little bit of a Czech experience inside. Okay. There's one extra bag for each of them. It's got Czech Bekerovka, so they will also have to take something to your families. I think I haven't forgotten anyone, except thank you. I just want to say my name is Mirka Vlčková. And for those of you who are not Czech, Vlčková means wolf. So my name literally is Mirka the Wolf. And I'm not Mirka the Lonely Wolf anymore. So we have this wonderful, energetic, agile wolf pack called Lead Montessori. And I just urge you, when you go home, let's do the work, okay? Let's create a network of schools and let's get in touch in those work groups that have self-organized, and let's come back next year and see where we have taken the work in the year in the meantime. Thank you so much for coming. Also, Anna Pugacheva wants to say something, so just a moment.
Does anybody make copies of the music?
I'm sorry, it wasn't last words. It went.
Sorry.
It's okay. And my name is Anna. I am from Russia. I present Russian AMI affiliate in Russian AMI training center, and we came of small group of us, much bigger than it could be. Thanks for Mirka, because she organized this translation into Russian language for us. Thank you very much. And we want to say thank you once again for every of these great, incredible speakers, and for this event. And we also have small Russians are unique, you know. And our one of our characteristic is impatience. I'm sorry, we want everything now. Excuse us for this, but sometimes it helps. For example, me, I just made few steps already made from these stairs, and I will continue. Of course, I put new projects I bring from here in my list of projects. It was too short, I think. But yes, I hope sometimes I will do everything with help of people who from this year I think we will bring more groups here and can work more effectively together. And we have small Russian souvenirs.
Thank you very much, Anna. Thank you, Anna. Thank you.
And of course, Mirka. Thank you.
Are we ready to sing?
Pacem.
Are we brave?
We have 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. We have 2 people that feel good singers that can help us. So we have 2 for each group. 2 for each group. Okay. Come on up. Yeah, we'll stay here.
Do, do,